So basically, yoga defines stress as a speed of mind.
Oh, okay.
So if my mind is racing with certain thoughts about a particular object or a thing over a period of time, those devotees who are the followers of Shiva,
Hmm.
these are the Shaiva Akhadas, and the devotees of Vaishnava, they are called as the Vaishnava Akhada.
Hmm.
And this year's highlight was the Kinnar Akhada. First time they have given the place there
Oh, I see. Okay.
in the Akhada to have their own identity.
Right.
Not only human beings, but all the celestial beings also visit that place during that
Oh,
time.
oh. So they are taking a dip as well.
When the universe is created, there were these trinities, Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And I think these trinities were the origins of yoga.
Namaste, everybody. Welcome to Cafe Rainy Days. Today, we have someone from a field that is extremely dear to me, yoga. We have a yoga educator, Ketki Gokhale. She's been educating in this yogic field for around 20 years or so. So we are very lucky. Another thing that Ketki also does is she teaches Vedic chanting. She's done Vedic chanting herself, records Vedic chanting. She's done her master's in yoga from the S. Vyasa University in Bangalore. So welcome, Ketki, to Cafe Rainy Days. So good to have you. If we could start with the invocation, please.
Sure, Sujata. Thank you for that lovely introduction and thank you for inviting me in your podcast. So, as you said, I will begin with the invocation mantra. So, please close your eyes. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Ganana Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtharajan Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashruण्वन्नोतिभिः Sidasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Beautiful. That was wonderful. That really sort of sets the setting, so to say, and sort of brings you right into the presence. We chatted about this briefly, and it really struck me that we will come to that as well eventually. But what we do, what we say, I am doing yoga is not really the aim of yoga. So we'll come to that later on that sort of path. As we were chatting, I thought I'll talk to you about Anugraha, Anubhav, and Anubhuti. So if you could tell us a bit about these three concepts, the differences, and if you have experienced any of these, all of these, please.
That's a brilliant question, Sujata, and I will try to answer your question. So, let's take Anubhav first. So, Anubhav is, what you experience when you do something at a very personal level. So, for example, if I am practicing asana, in that final stage of posture, experience of every individual can be different because he is coming from a different background. Everyone's background can be different. For example, their physical ability or the state of mind. from what family or background they are coming. So depending on, they will experience, or they will uh, get that anubhava at a and that can be uh, that experience can be with the group as well. Means it can be a personal experience, but it can be a experience in a group or in a community. For example, if we chant certain mantras in a group, that experience is at a wider level,
mm,
right? But when we are talking about Anubhuti, it's a very personal experience. For example, if I, practicing meditation, or if I'm trying to do pranayama, and I am, holding my breath, and in that spur of moment, because that Anubhuti can be only for the fraction of seconds, and that is at a very personal level, at a very deeper level of your consciousness. That is, I think, Anubhuti, according to me. And Anugraha to happen, it's a very, mm, you know, big the phenomena. Hardly people, have their gurus or teachers, and especially on path of spirituality, if you have reached a certain stage, Anugraha will only come, when you have done your 99% job. So, what is that 1% remaining can happen with the grace of Guru or the grace of Divine, and that is Anugraha.
right. So is it like layers? So maybe the base layer is Anubhav, which is just
Yes,
experience.
correct.
Anugraha is a slightly finer experience, maybe extrasensory. And then
Anubhuti.
oh, that's Anubhuti, sorry,
Yeah,
Anubhuti. And
yes,
then what you get by the grace of divinity, Guru, is Anugraha, right?
Anu. Yes.
If you can elaborate on if you have had any experiences.
It's actually a very recent experience, just 1 year back, that I get to know, I think, of all three of them
Ah,
together.
oh, okay.
As I've said, that Anubhava is like, now since 5 to 6 years, I am, doing very regularly my mantra sadhana. uh, because just sheer out of love. I have love towards mantras, and that's why I chant them. I don't have any other intentions behind it.
Hmm,
Because I love, I keep them chanting every day, and when I chant them, I am, I think, at my best version.
hmm,
And I don't know, because these, I feel mantras are not the ordinary sounds.
hmm,
These are very potent sounds. So whenever you are utilizing, or uttering or chanting these potent sounds, it has its effect at a very higher level,
hmm,
larger scale. We can say that you start aligning your energies with the universe. Only after getting the experience, I am able to speak this, that how you get connected with the universal energy. Uh, One of my friends suggested me, because you chant regularly and you love it, you try to studio record, professionally record your mantra chanting. And hence, I went last year to Mumbai, and I did all my professional recording, or of whatever I usually chant.
hmm,
So, Shanti mantras, or Shri Suktam, Purusha Suktam, Shri Rudram. And out of them, I think I have that inclination towards Lord Shiva. So, Rudram is my most favorite one.
hmm.
And that happened to be the Mahashivratri when I recorded
Ah,
Shri Rudram.
wow.
And my friend's mother came to see me, that if I have come to the studio for the recording, and she was like quite anxious on that morning,
mm,
and she told me around 10-15 times that don't leave Ketki without seeing me in the evening. So in the evening when I finished my recording, I went to meet her,
mm.
and she was telling me, which I never expected even in my dream, that she was telling me like 2 months back she, went to Murudeshwara, and there she encountered with two Naga sadhus. And they started asking her, quite a lot questions. And at the end of their conversation, they handed over a Rudraksha to
Mm,
her,
mm,
saying that please give this Rudraksha to your son. But she like didn't mention anything about her background.
mm.
But then she said, I have no clue that how I'm going to, send this Rudraksha to my son, because he is in London. He doesn't stay
Okay.
in India. So Naga sadhus, without wasting a moment, they said, "Don't worry, bacha. Uh, some
We will
person
find the
will
means.
come
Mm,
to deliver this Rudraksha." And at that moment, she had no clue,
mm,
what's going to happen. And when she realized that I was there,
mm,
uh, instantly she
mm,
got to know that I think she is the person.
mm,
So, this is the experience which I
mm,
got, that, somewhere,
mm,
what you are practicing is
mm,
getting registered at a very larger scale.
mm,
So, first thought struck me was that, what I am doing is getting registered somewhere. And that gave me even more confidence and courage, and, that even my passion increased
mm,
about my sadhana and also about Naga sadhus. So I
mm,
started, searching about them, and that's
mm,
how last year in month of May or June, I came to know about this Mahakumbha Mela happening
mm,
this year in January.
mm,
So last year itself, I decided that I'm going to visit Kumbha Mela.
mm,
And Anubhuti, I would say, so when I was there with Naga sadhus in Kumbh Mela, hardly, 4 to 5 minutes I have spent with them, because there were so many akharas and so many Naga sadhus were there. But
mm.
because of sheer crowd, you just cannot keep talking to them.
Yeah.
But that Anubhuti, what I can say is, when I was in one of the akhadas, that is the Udasin akhada, and
Mm,
Naga Sadhu was from Himalaya.
mm,
And as I entered the tent of that Naga Sadhu and sat just beside him, the experience or that Anubhuti I went through, I cannot even explain in words.
mm,
Because what I felt at a very personal level
mm,
is my own Anubhuti.
mm,
Even even I tell in words, no one can understand that.
mm,
I think that is Anubhuti.
mhm,
To be in company of the Naga sadhus, what you go through,
mm,
how the transformation happens within you is your own very personal, very secretive kind of Anubhuti.
mm,
And I think because of my mantra chanting, I think that divine power has done the Anugraha on
mm.
me to reach that Kumbh Mela, all my own.
Yeah.
No one was there with me. But again, as the universal energies were aligned, two or three of, my friends and colleagues accompanied me. So my entire visit to Kumbh Mela was smooth.
Mm, mm,
I had to not worry of a single thing. I
mm,
think the entire this Kumbh Mela event happened. I
mm,
haven't done anything on my level.
mm, mm,
So when things happening for you, you have to take the clue from those events that somewhere that Anugraha is happening.
mm, mm. There are two things that I'm thinking of here, Ketki, that it's one, it's like puzzle pieces coming together and it becomes a whole big picture. And also, secondly, you need to take these clues. Sometimes
Yes.
we get these clues from various places, but we just don't take them. So I remember this story where there's this bhakta, a Jesus bhakta, and he is drowning. I think it's a
Hmm.
popular story. He's drowning and he's saying, "Oh no, no, Jesus will save me." There's these rescue people coming, saying, "Come on, we have to go. You're going to go down the flood's coming. Come,
Yeah.
come, come. We'll rescue you." And he says, "No, no, Jesus will save me." And he keeps sitting, saying, "Jesus will save me." And then even the helicopter comes down to come and save him, and he says, "No, no, Jesus will save me." And he, of course, drowns and dies, reaches heaven, and then he goes and complains to God. He says, "Why didn't you come? I was waiting for you." And God
Hmm.
said, "I tried to save you in several ways. I sent you all these people to save you, and you kept waiting." So it's getting, it's also
Yes,
picking up on these clues and acting upon it,
exactly.
which you did. And you reached the Kumbh Mela, and it was supposed to be a solo journey,
Yes.
which is even braver. I mean, I just can't imagine your family, your parents, what they were thinking when they let you do this. Of course, they
No,
must
they
have been
were,
super
yeah,
worried
quite
and dissuading you.
exactly.
But it leads us nicely into the topic of Kumbh Mela. We know, so maybe the Naga Sadhu's experience was what was the trigger for you to
Yes,
decide to
of
go to the Kumbh Mela.
yes.
So once I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about this. One, yes, you go there for that experience, for getting blessing from the sadhus, and it's a very
Hmm.
spiritual thing for us Hindus. Why are the sadhus coming there, and what's the history behind this? Everybody knows the story, but if you could briefly still go through it.
When it, happened, the Samudra Manthan, when there was a fight between Devatas and Asuras to get the Amruta, the Amrut. Uh, so lot of things started coming out of that Manthan. So goddess Lakshmi came and Airavata came, and the Dhanvantari, he came with the pot of Amruta holding
Mm,
that nectar pot, and all the asuras started following Dhanvantari. So the son of Indra took that pot from Dhanvantari and started running. And in that all kind of a mess, four
struggle.
drops of nectar fell at four places. That is Haridwar, Prayagraj, Ujjain, and Nashik.
Mm,
And from there on, this event, which we can call it as the spiritual gathering,
mm,
started happening. And Adi Shankaracharya has set up these akhadas
mm,
where these Naga sadhus were trained into shastras and shastras, like how to use even the weapons, because at that time when the Mughal rule or the British rule was there, our own Naga sadhus were at the battlefield to fight against them.
mm, mm.
But
That's why it is
later
called
on,
akhada. Mm.
akhada, yes,
Practice almost, isn't it?
exactly. But now they are mainly the guardians of our Sanatan Dharma. So if you want to know or understand what Sanatana Dharma is, I think Kumbh Mela is the best place uh, because I have experienced it myself, all the akhadas were full of these Naga sadhus. They were constantly delivering certain kinds of messages to the devotees who were
Right.
coming and meeting them.
Mm,
Even there are like satsangas or lectures going on in bigger halls.
mm.
So this kind of background it has got.
And you have this lovely presentation of different akhada. Would you like to share it?
I can share my slides. So mainly these akhadas, those devotees who are the followers of Shiva,
Mm,
these are the Shaiva akhadas, and the devotees of Vaishnava, they are called as the Vaishnava akhadas.
mm, mm.
And these are basically the names of these akhadas. So
Right.
Anirvani, Niranjani, Juna Akhada, Atal, Avahan, Agni, and Anand. And
Mhm.
similarly, Digambar, Nirvani, and Nirmohi are the Vaishnav akhadas. And there were two more,
Hmm.
the Udasin.
Hmm.
These Naga sadhus are the followers of Guru Nanak. So
Oh.
Bada, Naya Akhada and Nirmal Akhada.
Mhm.
And this year's highlight was the Kinnar Akhada.
Oh. Oh, so the Kinnar Akhada never comes to the Kumbh Mela otherwise. Or
Uh,
was it just a
so
highlight?
what I heard is for first time they have given the place there
Oh, I see. Okay.
in the
Okay.
Akhada to have their own identity.
Right. 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 And so you were able to go and visit the Kinnar Akhada as well?
Unfortunately, not
Oh,
because
okay.
main thing is you have to walk a lot.
Yes.
And because I was there on the Amrita Snan days, like Makar
Mm.
Sankranti and Paush Purnima,
Mhm.
they have entirely, stopped the transport in the
Oh,
Kumbh Mela city as well and in the Prayagraj city as well.
right.
So if you want to go from one sector to another, you have to walk at least 8 to 10 kilometers.
Okay, wow. It just gives you the idea of how huge this is, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure that we are going to come to that, isn't it, through your slides? Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, means you cannot imagine the vastness of it.
Mm.
I felt after coming back from Kumbh Mela is I haven't seen anything. I
Oh,
just
wow.
visited few akhadas, did my holy dip, and I came
Mm.
back. That's
Ketki,
it.
why is this called the Mahakumbha and why isn't this every 4 years, isn't it? Why aren't the
So
other?
every 6 years, what happens is Ardha Kumbha.
Okay.
Every 12 years is Purna Kumbha. And this was after, when 12 Purna Kumbha Melas are finished.
Oh,
So it is coming after 144 years.
oh,
And hence
okay,
it is
okay.
called as Mahakumbha Mela.
Acha, acha, acha. So there have been 12, you said? 12
Yes,
Purna Kumbha Melas.
Kumbha Mela. So
Okay.
it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, unless you're going to live for another 144 years. Oh,
You
wow.
need definitely Anugraha for that.
Lots of Anugraha.
So these are few other slides where we went to different akhadas. So there were total 13 akhadas.
Hmm.
In one day, we were able to finish almost 8 to 10 akhadas.
Hmm.
And
How
we
many
were
days were you there for total, Ketki?
2 days.
2 days.
2
Excellent.
days. So one day just to travel and another day to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So we, get to meet them. Otherwise, these Naga sadhus won't interact with us.
Hmm.
So this is the only place where they will interact at a very individual level. If you
Hmm.
ask them any questions, they will give you, good advice, good guidance,
Hmm.
whatever you are looking for.
Hmm. Hmm. And they can come from any part of India, is it? They just travel from.
Yes, yes. So right from Himalayas, different
Hmm.
ashrams, even they have akhadas,
Hmm.
in different parts of India.
Hmm.
Similarly, Akhada was the attraction, and this Bhandara was the another attraction.
Hmm.
So in each Akhada, constant, the Annadana was going on. I think
Hmm.
Kumbh Mela is the place where it is the time for donating food.
Ah, okay. That's a good time to donate food, right?
Yes, yes. It's again on a very huge scale. When I, went to Udasin Akhada, we had our breakfast and lunch there.
Hmm.
And in wedding, we have sitting, in
Yeah.
olden days, they
Yeah.
sit,
Like the picture
eat,
there.
and
Yeah.
leave the place. Similarly, this was happening, but at a huge scale, around
Hmm.
25 to 30,000 people were, eating together and leaving the place, and same group of people again entering into the hall.
Hmm.
And,
And
we
so how do they manage to keep all of this clean and it's just continuously keeping, they just keep going?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
was coming to that point. The
Oh, sorry.
volunteers, they were working so hard.
Hmm.
They were cleaning the place, they were serving the food, they were again taking the plates, they're washing the plates. So everything is done. So it's I
Hmm.
think, a very good example of teamwork.
all these sadhus, are they all Naga sadhus? Udasin Akhada and the Kinnara Akhada, obviously not Naga sadhus. Are all the other Akhada people sadhus, or am I just
So
getting the terms wrong?
mainly, each akhada will have their head of the akhada,
Right.
which is called as the Mahant or Mahamandaleshwar. And they are, having the followers or their students. Some are Naga sadhus, some haven't become Naga sadhu yet.
Ah,
So they have to go through the 12 years of, like an exam. It's a 12-year course.
tapasya, yes, yes.
Yes, and they examine you, they test you, and depending on what you are capable of, again in Kumbha Mela, there is a process of making that student a Naga sadhu,
Right, right. It's an
yeah,
important time for them to become a full Naga sadhu, right?
full Naga sadhu.
Okay. And does the term Naga come from Nag, or is this something different?
It means Nagna.
Ah, okay.
So they are completely naked
Mhm.
and they just, wear a small.
Yeah, just to cover their private parts.
Yeah, that's it. So, it was in January in Prayagraj. It was very cold, but they were not wearing, any clothes.
Wow.
Depends, some Naga sadhus preferred wearing clothes because now they are coming in the
Hmm.
in
The
the
public,
community
yeah.
where people are constantly coming to them. So
Hmm.
some Naga sadhus you will see wearing clothes, but some Naga sadhus they are not wearing clothes.
Mhm.
But yes, when you see them, you really admire them that how,
Hmm.
they are following such strict rules or following, such hard kind of uh, practice for so
Hmm.
many years. And
Hmm.
only out of that hardship or that penance or that tapascharya, they are getting a lot of siddhis.
Hmm. It's
Yeah, so later on Makar Sankranti day, we went for the most famous sacred dip.
Hmm.
And again, it's a privilege to come with, the Naga sadhus of particular akhada. So
Hmm.
we were walking with them, with the Naga sadhus of Udasin akhada.
Hmm.
And because of sheer crowd, we just got the last boat which took us to the Triveni Sangam.
Oh, wow. That's another grace, right? That
Yes, we didn't have any hope because these, people were like, not in a mood because people were constantly
yeah.
requesting, okay, please take us there.
Hmm.
But somehow we managed to reach the Triveni Sangam and
Hmm.
took the deep. And because it is the union of three rivers,
Hmm.
Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati. It is the most sacred dip. When you visit such places, having a little bit of background about these things, then you, in a real sense, understand its significance.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's just,
Yeah, it's like a
uh,
tourist trip,
a
isn't it?
river for you or just a normal river for you.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
unless and until you understand what Ganga stands for, what Yamuna stands for, what
Hmm.
Saraswati stands for, and there is the union and there you're taking a dip. So there is
Hmm.
something special about it.
Hmm.
There are certain astronomical conditions.
Hmm.
Because of that is even more special.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not only human beings, but all the celestial beings also visit that place during that
Oh,
time.
so they are taking a dip as well. Wow.
Yes, the
Hmm.
water becomes more pure because of the Amrita Snan, which Naga sadhus have the, that
Lot
respect.
of power. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have the privilege to do
Hmm.
the snan first, and only after their snan, we are allowed to take a dip inside.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now we understand what kind of energy that water must be having. So it's not a ordinary when we, in a monsoon season, we go to a waterfall or some kind of a
Hmm.
river and, we have fun there. That is different and this is different.
So, would you like to elaborate about the significance of Ganga Yamuna Saraswati here?
So, as we say Ganga is all about knowledge.
Acha.
So she represents the jnana on the path of spirituality, what you need first.
Hmm.
Unless and until you have knowledge about what you're seeking, it is useless.
Hmm.
So she gives you the jnana part, the knowledge part.
Hmm.
Yamuna gives you the bhakti part. So only you have knowledge, that's it. But you
Hmm.
don't have the bhakti or
Hmm.
that devotion or a kind of compassion, love towards what you're seeking.
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, it's not going to take you anywhere.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
And the river Saraswati stands for inspiration. So, because of your knowledge and devotion,
Hmm.
that source of inspiration has become active within you. No one is telling you to do your sadhana,
Hmm.
but because of your own inspiration, you are doing your sadhana.
Hmm.
No one is telling me to chant mantras every day, but from where it is coming. So, some kind of inspiration is
Hmm.
making me do this again and again.
Hmm.
So, I'm just giving one example, but when these three things come together,
Hmm.
I think there is a lot more chance of progressing on the path of spirituality, and hence the importance of these three rivers.
Hmm. Ketki, I was once told, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. So I was told by one of these pujaris in a temple that Ganga Yamuna represent Ida Pingala, and
Mhm.
Saraswati, because it's Lupta, which is
Correct,
hidden, it's
correct.
the Sushumna. I mean,
Yes,
is that
absolutely. Yes, correct.
okay?
And all our sadhana is to, activate the dormant nadi, that is
Hmm.
Sushumna.
Which is the Ganga and which is the Yamuna? Ida Pingala made?
Probably right side, that is the Surya nadi,
Hmm.
is Ganga, and Chandra nadi is Yamuna.
Hmm. Because it's the more emotional bit, it's the left, and
Yes.
the more
Yes.
Rajasic bit is the
Devotion is all about emotions, isn't it?
hmm. Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Begin.
so this is called as a tent city or the Kumbha city. Again, a very significant thing about this place, because this place doesn't exist once the monsoon starts.
Oh,
Everything goes
it's all
underwater.
underwater. Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was, so surprised because I was not aware about this. So when I reached Prayagraj airport and sat in taxi, that taxi driver was very talkative and he was, giving us a lot of information. He told us कि you are very lucky because now you are going to stay in Ganga Maiya ki गोद में.
Oh, yeah, true.
So I said, how come? Then he said that the water of Ganga resides
Mm.
in, month of right from November, December, Jan, Feb. And this place gets empty, and this is the time when this Kumbh Mela happens. So we all
Amazing.
are, whatever you're seeing, all these tents, all these people living in tent, they are literally staying in Ganga's God. And
Mm.
that feeling itself was so uplifting.
Yeah. So for the non Hindi or Indian language speakers, God is like the lap. So you're literally in Ganga's lap is what the translation is. Excellent. And what were the the tents were clean and you had beds in there and there were toilets and how was it, Ketki?
So I don't have the inside picture of
Okay.
tent. I've not put it on the slide, but our tent was quite clean.
Hmm.
And they were given even extra blankets because there were no heaters.
Hmm.
Uh, so we requested for two extra blankets and they immediately gave us.
Hmm.
Toilets were clean, even whatever we requested, the kettle or hot water and
Oh, wow.
whatever, they were trying their level best
Wow. Okay.
to, fulfill and keep all the devotees, whoever come there,
Hmm.
to keep them
And so
happy, to
there's a
keep.
charge to you book a tent and there's a charge, or there's a charge for the whole trip, or how does it work?
So I booked my trip through a travel agent.
Right.
So yes,
So there
there
was a
was.
charge for the whole trip
So
in
there
that
were
case.
like, the deluxe tents and the luxury
Oh,
tents.
okay.
So accordingly, the tariff was there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not that spiritually developed, you see. Ketkis, I'm more worried about the luxury tent. But I mean, already the fact that you didn't have to carry bedding and you could just ask them for kettle and extra blankets, etc., is amazing, because the number of the statistics is just the number of people which visit this Kumbh Mela are like their statistics like so many times of a football stadium and all this. So
Yes,
already
yes,
it's the scale
absolutely.
is
And
just.
they were even giving donations of the blankets.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
those, people who cannot even afford to stay
Hmm.
in tents.
Hmm.
So in akhadas, they have given the facility to people to stay free of charge, to eat free of charge,
Mhm.
and even all the bedding, blankets, everything is provided.
Wow. So of course you come back to to our sunny England from the Kumbh Mela.
Yes, definitely.
So what do you think changed, Ketki, after the Kumbh for you?
What has changed within me is, I just felt that I have to start my sadhana once again.
Which you do really, but yeah, more intense, I suppose.
The level of detachment which I have seen in these Naga sadhus, even
Hmm.
1% of detachment, if we can bring in our lives will be much better and happier.
Mm, mm. Because of course we can't do this 100% detachment. We are householders. So,
Yes,
but you're still saying as a householder, it's important to get some sort of a detachment.
detachment. Yes, detachment maybe, from our uh, personal like likes and dislikes.
Mm,
I like this. I don't like this. We have even attachment for that.
mm, mm,
And we sometimes feel very proud of it.
mm, mm. Yeah. Oh, not
So,
me. I don't do this. Yeah.
huh. So we can apply this detachment
Mm,
at various levels. Many things which we don't want in our house, but still they are,
mm,
there. We
mm,
don't know why they're there.
mm, mm,
So start donating it to someone or just discard them because you no more need few things
mm,
in your house. Again, that is which you don't want to have detachment is one level, but the things which you want but still discarding them
giving it
or
away.
donating them is a real kind of detachment, I would
Mm,
say.
mm. But at least start with the things you don't want. Yeah. So linking it back to yoga, I mean, you've been a teacher for so many years. So how do you promote that when you're doing asanas, for example? How do you promote that detachment? And how do you teach that to students? How does that come about when you're just doing physical stretches?
So when you are in a final stage of any posture,
Mhm.
there are like two ways of practicing asanas. First thing is prayatna shaithilya. So you have to relax those body parts which are not involved into the posture.
Mhm.
So if I'm in Parvatasana and if my like the mountain pose and if my lower body is under tension, it is under tension because somewhere I have deeply attached to it.
Ah, okay.
So now you have to let go of the lower part of the body and let it relax. So there you can practice detachment.
Mm.
And then second part of the asana practice is Ananda Samapatibhya. Means you have to merge yourself into the universal consciousness. Means you have to become one with it.
Mm.
To
Okay.
become one with it, you have to forget yourself, isn't it?
Mm. Mm.
Then
You're
only
almost like dissolving into the background in, yeah.
yeah. So right now, all we live in a state of duality. I am this person, she's another person, or I am the practitioner and this is God. So
Hmm.
there are two things, but each asana is teaching you to dissolve. And
Hmm.
for dissolving yourself, when all the rivers flow and ultimately merge into ocean.
Hmm.
But unless and until they give up on themselves, they cannot
Hmm.
become one with ocean.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. That's such a beautiful analogy, Ketki. Very
So
beautiful.
similarly, we have to this detachment, if you're practicing it at different levels, at your own capacity, capacity, then only in that final stage of asana, you can become one. Otherwise, you will be stuck somewhere like my leg is hurting, or my breathing is not proper, or lot of thoughts are disturbing you. If all this is happening in the background, there is no chance of dissolvement.
I mean, what you are saying is already at a much advanced level. Forget that my leg is not hurting. The way we practice these days is where, oh, she's wearing this designer yoga whatever pants, or oh, I should get this break, or my mat is that, and that's not what yoga is about. So if you could take us right to the source of what is yoga, and also the following question would be, if you could give us a bit of history to yoga as well.
Yeah. So I think I will start with the history.
Oh, okay.
When we
Yeah,
are
good.
talking about the history of yoga, it's the very origin,
Mhm.
correct?
Mhm.
And we cannot bring yoga as a separate entity. It is a
Mhm.
very part and parcel of our culture and our civilization.
Mhm.
So, as I mentioned about this mantra, the sound, which is the very basic principle of the universe. In fact, the universe has manifested from this sound. So, at the very beginning level, when the universe is created, there were these trinities: Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And I think these trinities were the origins of yoga. So, Lord Vishnu is, in Yoga Nidra.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, when he is in Yoga Nidra, from his navel sprung the lotus, and in that lotus was the Lord Brahma. He looked around in four directions, and the four Vedas emerge. And when he was doing that, some persons started screaming and shouting with lot of loud noises, and that was Rudra, the another form of Shiva. On request of Vishnu and Brahma, Rudra became peaceful, and including Lord Brahma and Shiva, they sat into meditation. So we have,
Lord Brahma and Shiva, right? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we have that, origin right from the beginning of the universe.
Mm, mm, mm,
And then later on, our civilization, started. All these Vedas were compiled later on. Then we have Puranas and Itihasas, and in Ramayana Mahabharat, we say Bhagavad Gita is the main textbook of yoga. So we have the references of yoga right from Vedas to a very contemporary, like when we say the teachers of the modern time, like BKS Iyengar or Krishnamacharya or Shivananda. So I think yoga has came a long way, and it is always part and parcel of our existence.
mm.
And what was your, sorry, second question?
And so therefore, how do you define yoga?
Define yoga. So you will get to, know a lot of definitions of yoga in different these ancient texts. But to put it very simple, how I look at yoga is, it is combination of many things. Like it is a science,
Mm,
science of liberation.
mhm.
It is the
Nice.
art, like you learn swimming or cycling or any musical instrument. You have to develop the skill
Mm,
or that art
mm,
with the practice. So similarly, yoga is a art,
mm,
yoga is a science, and this is the science of your own body, mind, and soul.
mm,
Unless and until you know it well, how you are going to liberate it.
mm,
And to liberate it, you need to develop few skills
mm.
within you,
And that will only come with practice, right?
and that will come with the practice. So I think
Mm.
that is yoga for me.
Wow. Excellent. So, Ketki, I'm going back and forth, but going back to your education, for me and lay people who just go to a yoga class once a week and just stretch ourselves, we think we are great because we know the word Paschimottanasana. We are always surprised that what you did 2 years of masters in yoga. What is it that, if you were to really sort of seriously go and study yoga, what sort of things do they teach you? One, and
Mhm.
as well, it would be lovely to hear about teachers and just the institute in general.
Yeah. So basically, I went to do, or I went to Bangalore to do my yoga therapy.
Right.
So it was never in my mind that I'm going for masters. So I finished my yoga teachers training from Mumbai, and I did my few diplomas in learning philosophy of yoga. And later on, I was searching for a good center or a organization who is teaching yoga therapy. Fortunately, I got to know about this SVyasa University in Bangalore, and I went there for 6 months diploma course in yoga therapy.
Right. So what
And
is yoga therapy? That is how to apply it to whatever problems you have.
yeah, so
Yeah.
like people having different physical and mental disorders,
Mm,
this science of yoga is scientifically explained. So this place is a very special place for me because it is a therapy center, it is a spiritual center
mm,
where they have actual hospital, and people come and get
mm,
admitted there, take yoga therapy for 15 days,
mm.
get completely healed, and go back
Wow.
happily.
Yeah.
And it's also a research center.
Right.
So if we are, helping a patient cure their diabetes with yoga therapy, then we need to prove it scientifically. So
Mm,
they are doing lot of research work, publishing papers into journals and all. So I love that place because it's not only a ashram or a kind of,
mm,
just a spiritual center, but they are doing quite more than that.
mm, mm,
And my gurus, Dr. Nagendra and Nagaratna, I think they were the best in their field. And whatever I am giving yoga therapy now is only because of these two gurus.
mm,
Dr. Nagaratna has trained us so well to look at a patient or a participant from
mm,
all the perspective, because in allopathy they will only treat your symptoms, isn't it, by
mm,
giving you the medicine.
mm,
But if there is an underlying cause, we need to treat it.
mm,
So if a person is having hypertension, yeah, he must be taking a tablet for that.
mm,
And day-to-day basis, his blood pressure is controlled. But if he will stop the tablet, or if that underlying cause is not handled,
mm,
maybe he is going through some stress or
mm,
some kind of not very good lifestyle. So we need to find out
mm,
what are the underlying reasons or causes for that. And we have almost treated patients with many
mm,
kinds of
mm,
physical and mental disorders.
mm. So you went there for a 6-month course and then you thought, okay, I'm going to do masters. How did,
And
yeah.
that time I came to know, okay, this place also has
Ah,
MSc in yoga, not only MSc, also PhD in yoga.
okay. Okay. Wow.
So then I told my parents that I'm not coming back now. I, want to
Oh,
stay.
you just carried on. Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Otherwise, after 6 months, I would have gone back.
Right.
Then I stayed another 1 year and I did my master's. Like we had to do some research papers. So like getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm,
So it was a proper planned daily schedule. Even our lectures used to be under the tree.
mm,
Our teachers used to give us lectures on say, Ramayana, Mahabharata, or
mm.
Bhagavad Gita. So these kinds of
It's
topics
like
were
going away on a year-long retreat, really.
yes, absolutely. I have, I'm talking about detachment, but I'm still attached to that place.
To the institute. That's so coming out of this, Ketki. I mean, I know that you've done a lot of research on stress and how yoga can help, and you've also written papers about
Yes,
in this day and age, people have stress about everything, and you also see little kids suffering from stress. When you and me were little, there was no stress in the kids. They used to be, yes. ikka dukka. Now kids, our kids are very aware of what a panic attack is. I mean, I didn't know what a panic attack is till I was 50. I mean,
Yes.
not even experienced it, but I didn't even know what it is. Yeah, how do you go about it in a yogic way, and how do you deal with stress? A bit about that, please.
Correct. I think our coping mechanism, have gone under the toss because we are not connected to ourselves.
Mhm.
That connection to our own self, if it is well established, obviously our coping mechanisms will be good. And that's why, in olden days, we didn't even know the word stress
Mhm.
because I think the value systems, the background in which we were brought up, parents, or the families were joint families, there were so many people around, friends. So I think this kind of environment was also responsible for having good coping mechanism. But what I feel is, from a very widened perspective, now we are becoming very self-centered.
Mhm.
If I'm just thinking about me and myself, my education, my career, my marks, my admissions, there is a kind of stimulation happening at a very individual level. And when that happens, it becomes very stressful.
Then that becomes competition, right? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, yoga defines stress as a speed of mind.
Oh, okay.
So if my mind is racing with certain thoughts
Mhm.
about a particular object or a thing over a period of time, then that is called as stress. And I don't know, means because of lack of exercises, lack of discipline, lack of support,
Mhm.
how your family environment is,
Mhm.
maybe various reasons, even young children having these panic attacks or
Mhm.
ADHD or these kinds of things
Mhm.
we never heard before are coming up a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what I feel is how yoga can help them is, they first of all they should, learn
Mhm.
yoga or join a yoga class. And because now for a long time I'm running children yoga and
Mhm.
teens yoga, initially these kids are very reluctant to join a yoga class
Right. Mhm.
because unfortunately they feel that this is very boring.
Mhm. Yeah.
But once they get to know, enjoy their own bodies,
Mhm.
somewhere because of, effect of technology, or, we spend so much time on
Mhm.
social platforms, we lose that awareness towards our own body, breathing, mind.
Mhm.
Even we are not aware how we are sitting,
Mhm.
our own posture, how our breathing is going on.
Mhm.
So if we just become little bit aware of our own body, of our own breathing and our own mind, then only you will feel, oh, okay, there is something wrong in it, and
Mhm.
I have to do something with it.
Because
And now
otherwise you're
what
not even aware that you have a problem. Right.
exactly?
Right.
And what are the tools or techniques? So take them from yoga.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
how I can control my body, how I can control my mind. So
Mhm.
if you have learned at a very young age these tools and techniques and backup mechanisms, then I always tell them, especially in children and teens class, that this is not only 3 months of course for
Mhm.
you, but whatever techniques you are learning here, you have to
Mhm.
practice them for
It's a
lifelong.
lifetime skill. Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So whenever you go through anxiety, you know what to do with you.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Whenever you feel negative, not confident or depressed, you know what to do. So I
Excellent.
think yoga is a very strong tool. I think every individual have with them.
Mm. Just for the audience, I will put links to Ketki's site. So if you are interested in doing classes with Ketki, then you'll have a reference point. I think we've come a long way and maybe covered most of the topics that we wanted to, Ketki. So I just as a this is a nice way into one of my questions was going to be, what is that basic minimum that any normal average individual should do from a yoga practice, yoga sadhana perspective? So if you could give us some guidance there, and then we'll wrap up.
Right. So as I've said that, yoga is not just asanas or 1 hour of practice on mat. Whenever I meet, so many participants or clients who come to me with certain problem, I always felt it that nowadays people have everything for them in terms of materialistic things,
Mhm.
right? They have good job, they have good house, they have good cars, they go on nice holidays. Everything is they have sorted at that level. Great.
Mhm.
You have done, or you have achieved so
Mhm.
much. You should be proud of that.
Mhm.
But what is lacking from people's life is the spirituality.
Mhm.
And hence, in spite of having everything, still people are not content.
Mhm.
There is always a feeling of lacking, something I lack, or
Mhm.
something I still need to achieve, or
Mhm.
still I haven't achieved.
Mhm.
So, that kind of emptiness or lacking
Mhm.
or not 100% happy with what they have reached so far, why it is there? Because when I ask them what you do in terms of spirituality,
Right.
so they don't have any idea about it.
Mhm.
They say nothing. So I suggest them to at least start, as we have brought up since childhood, to lit a lamp in the evening in front of God and chant few prayers.
Mhm.
So I just suggest, something like that.
Mhm.
Or I suggest them to take up any scripture and start reading it. So I would advise that we should go back to our roots now. It's a high time to go back to our roots because you will find yoga in every scripture you will take up.
Mhm. And this is not just Hindu scriptures. I mean, you can be from any religion, any country. There's
Yeah,
always something in your roots that there used to be that would connect you to nature, connect you to that higher something. Mm.
exactly. So
Mm.
if you know that connection to that higher energy, you will never feel, means to feel different types of emotions is quite natural to us. But how to come out of it as quick as possible,
Mm.
that will happen only if you have this background. And that is need to be added in today's time.
Great advice, Ketki. And of course, you've already said that please do join your local class or with you or something like that so that you're physically active and add this element of spirituality into your lives. Do you want to say anything else, Ketki? Do you think we've covered everything?
Uh,
Do you want me
no, I
to?
think with your last question, I think everything is covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, that gives us a good segue into ending. And I think we would like to also end up with, I don't know what the end of invocation is.
It's a Shanti mantra. With a Shanti mantra will
That
end
would be lovely. Yes.
this
Thank you.
podcast. So please close your eyes. Oh, Namadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Ketki. This was lovely. A very different field, but thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujata. It's very nice because it was a very, easy flow as we talked
Yeah,
through, and I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much.
same here, same here. The pleasure is all ours. Thank you, Ketki.